I just ate some Doritos, and I'm not sure if I got everything. Anyways, Dalvin Cook, a major question this offseason for the Vikings is, was Dalvin going to be in purple this year or not? And he hasn't been traded. He has not been cut. But still, is he going to be suiting up with the Vikings in 2023? Remains to be seen. And head coach Kevin O'Connell was on with Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, PFTPM, talking about the situation with the star running back. And by the way, Florio is a well-renowned Vikings fan. So, I mean, talking with O'Connell, do you think he was just like pretty excited? Who knows? So this is what Kevin O'Connell said about the Dalvin situation. Quote, I tend to let GM Kwesi, adofo-mensah, and blah, 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 Rob Thug Life Brzezinski work through things, contractually or whatever whatever may be there. I can just tell you what Dalvin meant to me, not only in year one as one of our core leaders of our team, but also just the impact he had on the field. So it's interesting that usually when you're talking about a player, you would just talk about the GM, but specifically because of the contract situation, he brings up Brzezinski, which means that the Vikings beep, bop, 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 boop, obviously would be doing some salary calculations and juggling, potentially keeping Dalvin Cook. So that's very important that he mentioned that. His consistency, his toughness, durability, playing through some different things, and consistently being out there for us in critical moments, and just some of the huge plays that he made right alongside Kirk Cousins and Jefferson and the rest of our offensive players really will never be lost on me. And Dalvin has had shoulder issues over the last 3 years, finally had surgery to hopefully stem the tide from all those labrum issues, as well as Dalvin did have some big-time plays last year. The Boston, that long touchdown against the Colts, against the Bills, his 81-yarder sparked the comeback, as well as a 53-yard touchdown run against his hometown Dolphins. And, yeah, number 4 was bringing it. Won some more last year. But we want what's best for Dalvin, and Dalvin knows that. And we'll continue to work through, that situation, knowing that the respect that the Minnesota Vikings and our organization have for Dalvin has been earned. But it's more than that. We care about, obviously, the player, and ultimately he's under contract, and very much something that I don't take for granted, having had Dalvin Cook on this team, and what that's meant for me as a coach here in year one. We'll see where things go here the rest of the season. They're still, working through some things, and I'm sure we'll come to a great resolution. And if that means Dalvin Cook is still playing running back for the Vikings, that's something that'll be really good, I think, for me as head coach and play caller. And that would be interesting, where it seemed like it was fait accompli that Dalvin was going to be let go at some point during this offseason, where, was he going to be traded to the Dolphins? Was he going to be traded wherever? Was he just going to be straight up released? But it's still floating around. And it's important to note. So Florio, I believe, is a former lawyer, and he's very buttoned up with these contract things. He gets very in-depth. And it's important to note that he, at the bottom, obviously the situation remains in flux. Cook has a salary of $10.4 million in 2023, $2 million, which is fully guaranteed and subject to offset. So I didn't know if he had offset language in his contract or if he would have been allowed to double dip. But it sounds like even if the Vikings cut him and if he signed somewhere else, likely for more than $2 million, that would offset for what the Vikings owe him in a guarantee. So the Vikings would not be on the hook for that. So that's really interesting that they put that in there. And Dalvin is due a $10.4 million base salary. Post June 1st, if they traded him, they would save around $11 million in cap space, $9 million if they cut him. So actually, it would be 11 if and when he got picked up. So that's also very nice. But 10.4 is a large number for a running back, especially heading into season when he's going to be 28 years young. But Dalvin, he could still bring it, and you saw that Kevin O'Connell, even though the Vikings had issues running the football last season. Could they get a yard when they needed it? No. But Dalvin still had that extra gear. Was he the same guy as he was, back in 2020 when he put up 1,500 plus yards and 16 touchdowns? No. But he's still a top 5-6 running back in the league, and I think that he still has utility on this team, even though he is coming off a season where he had a career low yards per carry. Now, part of that could have been Kevin O'Connell just getting his feet wet play calling. Some of that could have been offensive line. Some of that could be Dalvin, or all of the above as well. And yeah, all the shenanigans of Dalvin, covering up the logo on the Instagram and all that stuff. Yeah, I think that a resolution can be come to. And even though The Vikings have set themselves up very nicely for life without Dalvin, just in case, where they re-signed Alexander Mattison on a 2-year deal. DeWayne McBride as a 7th-round pick was huge value. Would be great on 1st and 2nd down. I mean, Dalvin still would be the best running back on the team, and it's something that the Vikings need to consider. Where, I mean, Dalvin's going to be hungry, he's going to be motivated and all that stuff, and obviously since Kwesi and Brzezinski are really involved here, especially Brzezinski, making the numbers work with the Vikings salary cap situation. Is there a spot where the Vikings can reduce his base salary, save a little bit of cap space, put in some likely to be earned incentives or not likely to be earned incentives, and sort of kick the can a little bit, or reducing his cap number, converting the base salary into a roster bonus, and spreading out some of those cap hits over future years when the Vikings salary cap really opens up in 2024 and beyond. It's possible. So I do think that there is a strong chance that the Vikings and Dalvin work things out, maybe even before mandatory minicamp in mid-June, and 4 is in purple for another season. Because, I mean, if you're Dalvin, obviously, the potential for going home, he would still be the best running back on the Dolphins. He would obviously be the best running back on the Buccaneers if you want to go that route. But he has a chance to be something special here in Minnesota. Like, again, this freaking offense has a chance to be top 3 and probably not 3. So Dalvin has his golden opportunity where he can, even with a rework contract, even if he took a minor pay cut with the Vikings, that's still way more than he would get in free agency at this stage. But he would have a chance to be the focal point, the running back, where the Vikings obviously want to get back to run the football, evidenced by re-signing C.J. Ham as well as bringing in Josh Oliver. And he could be that dude who stirs the drink on this offense, which could set records. And that's not hyperbole. That's not off-season fan hype. That's legit. You look at Kirk, year 2 in this offense. Offensive line getting their ish together and staying healthy. Jefferson, Addison, KJ, TJ, Josh Oliver, C.J. Ham. And all of a sudden, Dalvin's back in there. Woo! Come on. So, hey, Dalvin, if you're legit about wanting to win a Super Bowl, take a page from Harrison Smith's playbook. Take a little bit less money and just really get after it. And, again, this. Like, do you want to be part of an offense that has a chance to score 40 points a game? I think you do. I think you do. I ain't talking about the Dolphins either, man. There you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell talking about the Dalvin Cook situation, saying that they're still working through some things. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.